So let's begin our chapter, and this deals with the topic called as what we are dealing with as genetics. And the genetics means it's a branch of biology that deals with the mechanism and the phenomenon of heredity. And among this topic, we have to study about the topics heredity and variations. As you all know, the father of genetics is Gregor Mendel, and his Gregor Mendel's theorems are called as Mendel's laws of inheritance. So, genetics is a branch of biology that deals with the phenomenon of heredity and variations. And the father of genetics is called as Gregor Mendel, and Gregor Mendel's laws were called as what? Laws of inheritance. Next, we have to study is about heredity and variation. So, what's meant by heredity? Heredity is the passing of a physical or mental characteristics transferred from one generation to another. So, the transmission of genetically based characteristics from parents to offspring is called as heredity. That means whatever you are getting, whatever the characters you are getting is called as what? Heredity. The next one, variation. Variation means any difference between the cell or individual or organisms. That means from whatever you are getting, that means from your parents, whatever the characters you are getting as a different, that is called as variation. So what is meant by heredity? Heredity means the characters which you have obtained from your parents, and some differences are there from your parents, and these differences are called as what? Variation. So these two are there, heredity and variation. As you are knowing, heredity means it is getting from one generation to another, while as the differences between the organisms is called as what? Variation. The variation may be of either genotypic, means from your parents whatever it is getting as genetically, or else some characters which you get from your parent, that means externally, that is called as phenotypic. So genotypic means internal character, whatever you are getting as in the number of chromosomes or chromosomal variations, mutations, etc. But phenotypic variation means height, weight, likewise. So these are there, heredity and variation. Then there are different terms you have to study in this chapter. Before entering into the chapter, the term identification is very important. So what is first term? That is gene. Gene means it's a region of a DNA that helps to determine a characteristics. That means it's a part of DNA to identify whatever the character you are having, either the height, weight, likewise. That is included inside your DNA. Then allele. Allele means one or two or more alternative form of a gene, either capital T, likewise small t, that you will study later. Then locus. Locus means a specific place of a chromosome occupied by an allele. In a DNA, DNA contains certain kinds of character occupied by alleles. Then genotype. As I told earlier, genotype is a set of allele that an individual possesses genetically. That is a genotype. And heterozygote. Heterozygote means one individual may possess two different alleles. That is, for tallness, capital T and small t are there for representing. That means one character from your parent and one character from your mother. Parental character from your father as well as from your mother. These two characters are called a heterozygote. Homozygote means these two characters are of the same alleles spaced in a locus. Tallness is represented by either capital T or small t. Then here, phenotype. As I told earlier, phenotype is the external manifestation of a character. Appearance of a character externally, tallness, dwarfness, red color, white color, that we will tell, no, the students are of either black color, white color, likewise, or alternative forms of a character. This is phenotype means it is the alternative form of a character. If tallness is there, then dwarfness is there. Character or feature. Character means it is any heritable feature of an organism. That means the character which is transferred from an organism through genetic components or genetic variations. That is called as what? A character. Next one, so many terms as I told while you are studying this one. Dominant. Dominance means whatever the character it is expressed in an allele, either in the heterozygosity or in the homozygous condition, either in the heterozygous or homozygous condition. Then what is meant by this homozygosity and heterozygosity? Homozygosity means that is represented by small t, homozygosity, or else it is represented by capital T and capital T. Then heterozygous condition means capital T, small t. This means these two characters are there in the parent. That means one is obtained from the father while the other is obtained from the mother. Then recessiveness. Recessiveness means the character obtained the character obtained may be present in an organism but it is not expressed. That is called as a recessive character. An allele expresses itself in a homozygous condition, while a recessive character means here one recessive character, it is shown that a recessive character is whatever it is expressed, not expressed in an organism. Means here two characters are there in the heterozygous condition. Capital T and small t is there, in which capital T is only expressed as the dominant character, while the recessive character is small t. So that is about in one allele, means capital T and small t is there. Dominant character is expressed by capital T while recessive character is expressed by small t. Now I think so you have understood this one. Then homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosome means same chromosomes. As I told earlier, homologous means the homozygosity. That means these two characters are there which is expressed either dominant or recessive, where they are of the same type, then it is called as what? Homozygous. Either capital T or small t, small t. These two are called homologous chromosomes. Then autosomes. Autosomes means the chromosomes similar in male and females are called autosomes. That we will study later. Sex chromosomes, the chromosomes responsible for sex determination. That means autosomes are the character representing chromosomes, while as sex chromosomes are representing only in for either female or for male. Then monohybrid cross. If we are crossing involves only one trait, it is called as what? Monohybrid cross. Monohybrid is a cross in which only one trait is taken. That means if a crossing over is there, then the crossing over usually having two of the characters is taken. First one, if it is taken as tallness as one character, then it is crossed with a dwarfness as the opposite character. So that is about what is a monohybrid cross. Only one character is taken and either tall or dwarf. Then dihybrid cross means here two characters are taken for two contrasting characters are taken for crossing over. That means if one character is taken as tall red plant and the other one will be chosen as a dwarf white plant. Now I think you have understood. One is a character that is with the tallness crossed with the dwarfness, that is called as a monohybrid cross. Then here dihybrid cross means a cross between tall red with the dwarf white. So that about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. So here two crossovers are there, monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Then what are the applications of genetics? The applications of genetics include genetic engineering. It's a second one, genetic counseling. First one is a genetic engineering. Genetic engineering means in a technique in which alteration of a gene is there, and whatever the useful products we can obtain, that is obtained. First one is about insulin. First genetically modified organism. GMO means genetically modified organism. The genetically modified, why? Because to produce or altering a gene in a chromosome, that means you have studied in 9th standard, I think so. A gene is transferred from a bacteria into a human cell, or a human cell into a bacteria to produce insulin. That is for economical use, we can produce it in a larger quantity. That is about a genetically modified organism. Then genetic counseling. Here the undesirable characters, that means not needed, or the trait which the child may inherit and can be identified and treated. That means if any problems are there such as thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, or hemophilia. Such diseases may occur in a child whose parents are getting married with such a character. That means one of the parent is having such a disease and the another one is not having, or a cross marriage is there. Such cases, the child may inherit such a character, and this character can be stopped, or the patient may be told as a counselor, they may be told to abort such a child, and such a condition is called as what? Genetic counseling. Then next one about karyotype. Karyotype is the technique in which the photograph of the chromosomes, that means photograph of the dividing cell nucleus, can be taken through a high power light microscope, and these photographs are artificially arranged. As you are knowing, the human cell contains 46 chromosomes, and these chromosomes are identified by taking a photograph of a cell nucleus during the cell division, and these are artificially arranged according to their size, shape, etc. on a chart, and this is called as a karyotype. That means the karyotype is the photograph of the dividing nucleus cells are taken, in which the chromosomes, according to their chromosome size and shape, it is arranged on a chart, and that is called as what? Karyotype. Likewise, this one. Here you can see the figure, a karyotype is shown here, and in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 22 chromosomes are there, and these chromosomes an additional chromosome, that is the 23rd chromosome, that is either a female with XX or a male with the XY. So if it is a female, then that will be having XX chromosome, that means 22 autosomes plus the 23rd pair. If that 22 pair of autosomes along with the XX, then that will be a female, and if it is with the 22 plus 22 autosomes plus XX, then there will be a female. XX, then that will be a female, and if 22 autosomes are there, this 22 autosomes plus XY chromosome is there, then that XY chromosome denotes it as a male. So that about the autosomes and sex chromosomes you have to study. As I told, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 22 autosomes are there with the 23rd pair, that is either female, then they will be having an XX chromosome. If it is a male, then XY. So chromosomes which determine a general body feature like height, seed color, etc. are autosomes, while that chromosomes which shows the sex of an organism, that is like a male and female, that is a sex chromosome. So sex chromosome that denotes the chromosome that determine the sex of an organism, while autosomes are the chromosomes that determines the general body functions. Thank you for all of you. Subscribe my channel, like, share and comment.